Good evening. I'm Sarah. This is my assistant, Remy, and we are going to be teaching you how to fold an origami crane tonight. Origami literally means folding paper. The ori part means folding and the gami part means paper. And it originated in Japan, but these days it means any kind of paper folding from any country of origin. And the paper crane is probably the best known origami form from Japan, and it's thought that if you fold 1,000 paper cranes, then you will have good luck. And so today I'm going to show you how to make a paper crane much like this one. You can actually make ones that are a lot smaller, but for the purposes of making it clear what I'm doing, I am using pretty large pieces of paper, about 6 inches by 6 inches. Here's an example though of a smaller one that I made earlier as well. And so you can make them any size. And generally when you do origami, you want to use really thin paper that's easy to fold. It doesn't necessarily have to be origami paper, although that does make it easier. But I've used most kinds of paper, anywhere from just regular computer paper to receipts and so on. So let's get started. So here is, oops, there goes the cat. Here's the sheet that I'm going to use. So as I said, it's about 6 inches by 6 inches, just to make it easier to see. And the first step to folding an origami crane is to turn it over so that the white side is facing up. And then we are going to fold it in half so that it forms a triangle, like this. When you fold an origami, you want to make sure that the folds are pretty exact and that you crease it very well. Once you've done that, you'll then take it and fold it in half the opposite way to form a smaller triangle, like this. And so what you end up with is 2 folds and a small triangle. The next thing you're going to do is to take the side where it's coming apart, so this side right here, take the top corner and you're going to fold it to the other side, like this, to form a smaller triangle, but just on this side. And then we're going to turn it over, and we're going to do the same thing, but folding it to this corner. So we've again created a smaller triangle, but not just by folding it in half. Instead, we've folded each separate section over onto itself. So when we do this, we're actually going to go ahead and open it back up again. And so what we should end up with is a triangle with a center fold here and a center fold here. And then you should be able to stick your finger in between the pieces of paper. So if you go ahead and open this up, we're going to slide our thumb under the top piece of paper, and then we are going to fold it out like this, so that the center fold becomes the top of the square, like so. I'm going to do that one more time because this is a little bit complicated. Again, you want to stick your finger in between the 2 pieces of paper, and then you're going to fold it out so that it forms a square like this on one side. When you've done that, you can then flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Again, put your finger in between the 2 sheets of paper here, and again, you're going to fold it across this diagonal line so that it becomes a square, just like on the other side. My folds aren't very good, so let me see if I can make this any better. It's always important to keep your folds precise in the beginning step so that your end result ends up looking good. Okay, that should be good enough. So we end up with a square, and I'm actually going to turn it so that the point faces towards me. And it's important that you put it the right way up. So I'm going to face it so that all the points, see how there are 4 points of paper here? 2 on the outside and then 2 on the inside, are all facing towards me. You need to do that in order for this to come out properly. Once you've done that, then we are going to take one of the edges, so not both of them, just one of them, and fold that towards the center. So we're going to fold it so that it's aligned to that center fold line. Once you've done that, you'll do the same thing on the other side, again taking just one of the sides of the paper and folding it so that it goes to that center fold. And so you end up with a shape that looks like this, kind of like a kite. Once we've done that, we're going to turn it over to the other side and do the exact same thing on the other side. So we're going to fold it once here. So it's like that. And then fold it again so that we then end up with this kite shape with folds on either side. The next step is we're going to take this top part and we're going to fold it so that there's a line right across the top of where these two bits of paper are. So we're going to fold it first this way. It doesn't really matter which way you go first. And then we're going to crease it so that there's a crease on the opposite side too, so that there's a fold going either way, but then go ahead and stand it back up. So once we've done this, you then want to open up these two pieces. And what you'll see is that you have kind of a triangle formed by the folds, a line here and then diagonal lines here. And you're going to grab just the top layer of paper right here, and you are going to push it back and you're going to fold it along that crease that we just created so that it goes like that. And if you do this properly, then you should then be able to fold these two side bits down so that they're flat and they form this diamond shape. And the paper isn't quite cooperating, but we can make it cooperate. So it takes a little bit of maneuvering, but eventually you should be able to get it to fold down flat, like that. And then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So flip it over, open up these two wings here, and then you're once again going to fold it, cross that line, and then make it so that these sides, oh, Orbit the cat is here. Don't eat the paper, Orbit. We're going to fold it so that, again, these two sides lie down flat. And so what we end up with is a shape that looks like this. And you'll notice that on the top, you can't separate it down the center. But on the bottom, you should be able to separate it like this, so there should be a gap here in the paper. The next step is, once again, to put it flat on the table. And again, we're going to take this corner here, and we're going to fold it towards that center. And then on the opposite side, we'll do the same. Fold it towards the center there. And when we've done that, flip it over, and we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So again, fold that towards the center, and fold it towards the center. So we have a very elongated looking diamond shape here. We're going to then move on to the final steps, which is making the crane's neck and tail. And so with one of these sides, we're going to fold it slightly at an angle, because this is going to be either the neck or the tail, and we want it to kind of stick out that way a little bit. So we're going to fold it once here, just to get that crease, flip it over, and then fold it the opposite way. And then do the same on the other side. Take this, fold it once here, and then again turn it over and fold it the opposite way. When you've done that, straighten them out so that you again have this shape. And now what you should notice is that you should be able to stick your thumb in between the two layers of one of the sides. Kind of open that up like this. And then you're going to grab this bottom part and bring it up. And it should fold right along those creases that we just made. And you should be able to fold it down flat like that. So that will be either the neck or the tail. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, open it up here. Then move this up. Again, it folds along those creases we just made, and then flatten it out here. And after that, the only thing we need to do is decide which part is the head, which I'm going to make right here. And so we're going to fold a bit of this down to create a head. Then pull gently on the wings, which should open this up, and you have your crane. So there you have it. Here's a crane, 999 more to go. Thank you for listening.